He looks like he's sainted now.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, greetings in the love and light of the one infinite creator. I'm Andre, and here today we're going to discuss the February 24, 2024 session of the LL Research Channeling. And let's start that. Okay, excellent connection now. Topics are Armageddon, the polarization, mythology, spiritual growth, or chakras. Okay, do I have a volunteer to read?
I would.
Sure. Okay, go ahead.
What am I reading? See.
Can you see it? Oh, I didn't share the screen. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, can you see it now? You should be able to click on it. Okay.
So I'm experimenting and trying to see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't control it.
Oh, you can't click on it?
Right.
How about now? Is it bigger now?
I have no control over it. None.
None. Oh, weird.
Wait a minute. Wait. No.
No. Strange. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll... Anyway. Can you still read it?
Oh, of course. You'll have to flip her when I'm... There's a bar. See the word and those words that have no value at the bottom of your screen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen. So
yeah.
I was asking whether or not you could see the text.
I know. I'm trying to tell you something, though, that that place where those words are is where a bar appears.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I will scroll it as we go.
Yeah. So I'm letting you know that it's a 3-line lead.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
All right. Are you recording?
Yes.
Excuse me.
So before we get started, it's been a while since I've been here, and I want to make sure I'm doing the correct etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this work? Somebody reads, we discuss it, or
yeah, that's exactly how it works.
But how much do they have to read, or is it like the paragraph or the whatever it's called?
It could be
usually
page.
A section. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, like this one, the letter P down there is the person asking a question.
Mm-hmm. And then Kuo is where he says the stuff. All right. I guess I'll read the first section.
I wanted to read.
Oh, okay, then go ahead.
I had to first do a warm up.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Quo, I am Quo, and I am with this instrument, and we greet each at this time in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator that is within each entity in this circle and all entities upon your planet and within the universe. And we are honored to be able to join this group that is aware of this basic premise of the creator of all things, being all things everywhere at all times. This afternoon, we are honored as well to be able to entertain and attempt to answer queries which you have as conscious spiritual seekers of truth. We hope to be able to give answers that illuminate your journey, comfort the aching heart, inspire the intellectual mind, and rejuvenate the physical body. We are always asking you to take what we have to say with what you might call the grain of salt so that you may determine the value of our words and use those in your spiritual path as food for growth. And those words that have no value at this time, then just set them aside. This gives us the ability to speak with greater variety and intensity so that we give you what you hope for and can use in your spiritual journey. And we do not provide what you may call the diversion or the block of granite to block your journey. At this time, we would ask if there is a query with which we may begin.
I have a query regarding the connection. Or is manifestation the same as intelligent infinity?
I am Quo, and I am aware of your query, my sister. The manifestation that you have asked about in the possible relationship with intelligent infinity is indeed an equality. For intelligent infinity, which you may see as the one infinite creator, has made all that there is within the infinite universe. This is a manifestation of love, which the infinite creator has created all things out of.
Is somebody talking?
Yes. Yeah. Robert is reading right now.
Okay, because I can't hear anything.
Oh,
I can hear you.
You might need to check your audio or try reconnecting. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Okay, I think he figured it out.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
But Ed left too and didn't come back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. There's Ed.
There he is.
Hey, Ed.
Hey, I just mentioned it, Ed, that you
Sorry,
left.
guys, my phone died.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Oh.
Yeah, glad you're
now-
back, man.
Oh, okay. There you are. All right. We can see you now. All right.
Yeah,
This
to infinity and beyond.
This is
Ready?
a-
Yes.
manifestation of love, or is that where
Which
you were?
the
Or
infinite creator. Huh?
is that where
Why
you
is
were?
it highlighted? Why is it highlighted?
Well, I was just reminding us where we were.
We were, yeah. This is a manifestation of love, which the infinite creator has created all things out of through the power of love to manifest through light, which becomes the love light of the creation, the product, the creation of what seems to be solidity and infinity at the same time. The solidity is an illusion, most especially within your third density, but within all densities of the creation. That G is unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It was a typo.
Of the creation for within each thing, as you would call objects or manifestations, there is activity that could be described as the molecules of light that move back and forth, round and round at different speeds and angles of rotation that give the manifestation of solidity of an objective reality, which entities such as yourself may be able to utilize within various levels of vibration in the great octave of creation. Thus, the creator of intelligent infinity has made this octave a creation as a pathway back into unity of each portion or manifested being with the one infinite creator. Thus, this simple equation of intelligent infinity equaling manifestation has great ramifications on all levels of being for all beings everywhere as they move through their incarnated patterns time after time after time through the various levels of the octave of being so that the creator may know itself with each incarnation, with each choice, with each thought, with each level of being.
All right.
Is there a further query, my sister?
All right, I guess we can discuss that. So it's basically talking, if I understood correctly, that one infinite creator and intelligent infinity are equal. Kind of like the Holy Spirit and the Father, the God is...
It's a trinity. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
trinity. It's the Father, Mother, and the Son.
Yeah, except it's kind of like you are the third person. You know, you are the Son.
Right.
And then there's intelligent infinities, the Holy Spirit. And
The infinity is the
and the one infinite creator is the Father.
Because matter is mater, mother.
Yeah. Ray, how are you doing over there? I can't see you or hear you.
I can still.
Okay.
I can still hear you.
Okay, well that's good.
That's all I hear.
That is weird.
It's strange that you
Really?
only
Okay.
hear me and not the other participants.
Have you been to these before, Ray?
Yeah. Are you using the Jitsi app? Because
It wouldn't let me do it. When I was on Facebook, it only let me join the web version.
oh, well, you might need to download the Jitsi app on your phone, and then try.
Well, I have Zoom. Or it's
This is
called
not
Jitsi?
Zoom. This is Jitsi. So do you have an
Oh,
Android?
okay.
Are you using a phone to access this?
Yeah, I am.
So you need to get the Jitsi app. Is it an Android?
Jitsi. Okay, I see it. No, it's an Apple.
iPhone.
The next down there. Yeah.
Here, Jitsi Meet on the App Store. See, it looks like this. You need to download this thing, and then it should work better for you. All right. Anyhow, so manifestation of intelligent infinity, exploring love, light, and unity. So recognizing everything is a manifestation of intelligent infinity. Did you guys have any commentary on that bit that we read?
Well, Ray, was Ed trying to say something?
So first off, Fred wants to get in.
Go ahead.
He said he's having problems getting in.
Oh, he's unable to get in. That's strange.
Yeah, apparently so. That's what he just said. Also, what I was going to say was, did I get it right? Was he saying that basically the infinite creator, the infinite intelligence equals the creation?
Correct. It is all
so that
eternal
means that, like,
manifestation.
everything that has been manifest in the universe equals up to the kind of the absolute full branching knowledge of the infinite intelligence.
That tells you that everything is imbued with consciousness.
Oh yeah, we already knew that. Yeah, all good.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. But it was good to hear it put in that simple equation of just being that intelligent infinity equals manifestations.
Hey, Ray.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now you look much better. Like.
Oh, I thank you.
The reception is better, anyways.
Yeah.
Great.
Fellow Jitster. Can you close down the Ray one that's in the
Oh
other
yeah.
one?
I'll kick the other one. Here, hold on. Ray has a. Oh boy.
And I didn't hear the last question.
Can you hear me now, Ray?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm getting help with Andre here to remove
The old
your other.
version
There's
of
two
you.
Rays up there right now.
Oh, I can probably close. Well, here. Let's see if I can do it.
Oh, unfortunately, because I exited and then rejoined, I'm not the moderator anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know who's responsible for.
I might be.
Wow.
Yeah, you try it. You try.
No,
You were the second to join, so maybe you're the moderator now.
Let me. Here it comes.
Here, fellow Jitsu. Okay. Anyways, it's good. The other one left.
You should have moderator. You are moderator now.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Some reason it kicked me in there.
Oh, okay. Here. So I was just gonna post our most recent AI spewing, and next.
I fuse.
Yeah.
So who are you still working with? Chat GPT?
Yes, ChatGPT.
Yes. Are
Yeah,
we on
but
website?
they've got a new one. It's ChatGPT 4.0. It just gives longer answers, basically. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. It's great for computer programming, anyways. Okay. Yes, cool. Oh, there was a good discussion that came out of our study group about raw contact session 24, specifically 24.6. My question is about Armageddon. In this passage, the reference was to Yahweh, known as He Comes, which began to send positively oriented philosophy 3,300 years ago, approximately. And Ra said, thus the intention portion of what became known as Armageddon was joined. Could you say a little bit more about Armageddon? Armageddon.
I apologize in advance, but that's how I've pronounced my whole life. And
Armageddon?
I've been pronouncing it Armageddon for more years than you've been alive.
Okay, fair enough.
I am Quo, and I've been alive longer than him. No, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. The Armageddon that is referred to in that particular quote could be seen as the battle that is being waged at this time upon the inner planes of your planet by various fourth density entities who feel the need to engage in such a battle in order that there might be the possibility of the reconciliation of those entities of a negative nature, who feel it is necessary to attempt to bring about the polarization of the people of your planet by whatever means necessary in order to add to their empire. This is one of the possibilities of the Armageddon of which those of Ra spoke. It is that result of the one known as Yahweh who made a transfer of entities to this planetary sphere at the beginning of its master cycle and utilized various means of cloning to help them discover more of the ways of love upon this planetary sphere. However, it was considered an abrogation of free will so that these entities would not be able to work within their own personalities, shall we call them, of the mind-body-spirit complex, and travel this path of polarization in the ways of love upon their own choices. Thus, the one known as Yahweh was able to find another means by which to describe itself as He Comes, because of its name of Yahweh had been abrogated by the negative entities, and then was utilized to become the chosen, shall we say, God of the entities from Mars. And they would then become the chosen people of the ones of Yahweh.
Okay, let's pause there to kind of
one,
disentangle this for a bit. So He Comes, that's Maranatha, right?
Can I just say, across the board, that is exactly what the Hidden Hand says.
Yes, sir. I heard it when I was reading it.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, I was hearing them like saying, who's talking, brother?
And then to clarify for Ray, the entities from Mars are, they're the brothers. They kind of had war with Maldek, and then Maldek blew up. And then when Maldek blew up, it destroyed the atmosphere of Mars. And so Mars became uninhabitable, and then they had to come over here. And then Yahweh actually intermixed the genes of the people with Mars with the people living on Earth around 75,000 years ago. And that's kind of the out of Africa expansion started it around then too. Ray, did you have any questions on this, or you understand it now?
I mean, I understood it. It's just I didn't understand, I guess, the complexity of that story. I thought Moldek blew themselves up. I didn't know that that Mars had anything to do with it.
well, they were at war, but yeah, Maldek did blow themselves up. Kind of, they got into a higher fever pitch of war than Mars, so they were even worse, I guess you could say. And then the planet just tore to shreds at some point.
That's horrific to think the
Yeah.
thought of the price that they paid for that.
And like that's some. I mean, like I've read multiple accounts. Like some people say that there were moons of Saturn that were used like a Death Star to destroy Maldek. So, there's different interpretations of how.
I haven't heard that either.
Yeah, look, did you know about the Death Star moon?
The Mimas.
Yes.
Mimas. Yeah. So there's Mimas.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that before.
So, and then also the actual the rings of Saturn are actually very young, geologically or whatever speaking, and so it could be possible they formed at the same time, like, but who knows? Anyways, there's a lot to untangle, but the main thing to understand is that the god of the entities from Mars, they would become the chosen people of the ones of Yahweh. So this is referring to Levite Jews, the Talmudic Jews, that believe in the supremacy of the Judaic people over all other people, for example. And also other kinds of warmongers and things like that. This is my understanding. I don't know. Correct me, guys, if you think there's a different interpretation here.
It's just got to be careful with that, though. It begins to sound like anti-Semitism with about 3 more words.
Well, the Semitic people are the Palestinians are Semitic people.
I know that whole Arabs. It's like
they're all Semitic people. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't the moons of Jupiter?
The moons of Jupiter. Oh yeah.
Come on, that was funny.
Okay.
There was one thing is that science found Yahweh spelt in our genes. Did you guys ever hear about that?
Yes.
No,
I don't know. I looked into that, and I didn't really see the link they're talking about. The 10-4, 10-1 thing. Honestly, I don't know what that actually is, because it's not. That is what they're talking about isn't in DNA.
What
There's no code that repeats 10-5-6-5 in DNA.
10-5-6-5.
I know what Ray's talking about. They were the 4 amino acids that make up ACGT.
Yeah, ACGC. They do not run in a standard order of those 4 letters. Ow.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a code that popped up which was equal to HVH. The first letter was off, though. It wasn't YHVH.
Right.
Either way, seriously, there wouldn't be a repeated code like that in DNA. There would be every single combination of those, the code that you could have, meaning the code would be pointless.
Are you familiar with Greg Braden? Greg Braden's often on like Gaia and stuff.
I don't remember where I heard that from. It was a long time ago, and it was probably on one of those unexplained mysteries shows or something. I have no idea what it was. I just remember
I looked
hearing
into it
that.
when I first heard about it, but honestly, I don't even really understand what they think that they mean by the 10-6-4-6 thing. There's nothing in there that does that.
Well, the book by Greg Braden explains what they did. And I just can't remember well to tell you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just bringing that up and see if anybody heard of it. That's all. I don't know how legitimate it is or anything, because it's from a show I've seen a long time ago, so I really have no idea. But as far as what you were saying though about the combinations changing, I totally get that. But the fact that you can, if you could actually spell the name once out of all of those, I think it's still legitimate because everything's in potentiation.
Okay, but there's
Yeah,
only
you
four.
can
There's
never
only
be
four,
certain.
like
Yeah,
letters.
there's only
And
4
there's
letters.
like 9
That's
billion
true.
bases. You get every single combination possible in every single person.
Yes, exactly. That's true. Yeah, there's a lack of scientific. There's no direct correspondence. There's no scientific basis, and DNA is very complex, and so it doesn't lend itself to simple numerical mappings. So
Actually,
I
it's
mean,
really simple. It's only 4 bases, but there's so many combinations of it. You're never just going to get a combination of a code that's 4 things.
but yeah, the
Right.
Confederation does say that we have that Martian DNA, and it's basically in absolutely everyone that's alive. Because everyone is so highly mixed nowadays. Like we were talking before with like Ashley, like who might still not have it. Like maybe some pygmies that have never interbred with tall people. So, but yeah, otherwise everyone has the alien DNA by now. Okay,
I did have a question now.
go ahead.
Right when I first joined, and I couldn't hear that first part.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a question in that first part? I cannot remember.
So the first part was about, it just basically said that yes, the one infinite creator and intelligent infinity is the same. It's like saying God the Father and the Holy Spirit is the same.
No, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember hearing your part, so I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So this is the primary I see Robert's drinking, so I'll continue reading here. This is the primary meaning of the Battle of Armageddon, which has the positive benefit of reducing the possibility of what you call your warfare by utilization of nuclear energy. We would also suggest that the Battle of Armageddon is a battle which each person upon the planetary sphere engages in on a daily basis when they see the seeming separation between entities of the third density as being the reality that must be dealt with in a manner which is divisive, filled with anger, and the possibility of warfare, which is so rampant upon your planet at this time as it has been for thousands of years. This is a battle that can only be won by those who become conscious seekers of truth, and who see within themselves the seeming separation covered by the total unification of all things and all people existing within the infinite creator as the infinite creator exists within them. It is the great hope of the Confederation of Planets in service to the one infinite creator that more and more people upon your planetary sphere can become aware of this battle within themselves and reflected in the world around them. For as that what heals the self, what heals the world around one. More and more of your entities need be able to heal the self, that together they might heal the battle scars of the population of Earth and the Earth herself. For she has been the victim of these battles for thousands and thousands of years, and needs your assistance and attendance. We correct this instrument to the need to see within the illusion of separation and find the unification of all. Yes, that's a very common theme here.
War.
Well, yeah, so basically, like, there's all of those warmongers, and our kind of duty is rather to help people see that we are all one being, to put it simply.
Yeah.
Guys, do you have some commentary? Go ahead.
Ed was saying something.
Ed, you just muted yourself. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, just a bit stressful. Minute, back in a minute.
Okay. All right, Robert, did you have a commentary on it?
That's just, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I guess it does.
Which part?
Pretty much all that quote says, it just has a lot of ring of truth to it.
Yeah. It does.
How about you,
I agree with that.
Ray? What do you think?
Well, I have to admit something. I have horrible short-term memory,
Hmm.
but I remember when I heard what he said, I did agree with that for the most part, but I've already forgotten all of it.
Yeah, I can agree. I sort of have that too.
Especially if I have to wait to comment. Like, if I can just jump right in and say something, that's usually the best for me, but I can try to do this as best I can.
Well,
I
you
just,
you
the
go ahead.
problem is my memory. It's awful.
Go ahead. Try and jump in next time.
All
Did
right.
I
you
have
have
to say,
something
dude,
to
I
say?
always used to sit and take notes when I first started doing it, just so when we got to the end of the statement, I had all the cool stuff that I could say after.
Yeah, it's a good
And
idea.
so have you gotten used to remembering it now, or what's happened through practice?
Who, me?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
I just don't write it down. I just remember the bits I remember.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I like to put my faith in God, that God will remind me of the things that I need to remember. So yeah,
It's his fault. I've got the memory issues.
But it is in the collective memory of whatever we're in here too. So
I'll tell you what, if somebody that knows about what we just talked about, just give me a brief synopsis. Just so brief. That's all I'll need. And then probably the rest of it will come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or
So
what's
yeah,
the question?
cosmic conflict and influence. So recognizing the role of Yahweh in the early stages of Earth's master cycle, where cloning and interventions were intended to promote love.
Oh, yeah.
But
And
inadvertently
that's when I
friendship
talked
and free
about
will.
the Yahweh spelt in her. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Historical.
so,
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, sorry. You guys go ahead.
Okay. Historical and spiritual reflect on how the misuse of Yahweh's name by negative entities led to the identification of certain groups as chosen people, influencing historical and spiritual narratives. Consider the implications.
Because he made an elite, right? Sorry.
Because he what?
He had made an elite.
Yes.
Belial, maybe? I can't remember.
No,
the
it was
name.
Yahweh.
But
Yahweh made an elite by accident.
but there
I
was
guess.
a Belial there was Beliality of Yahweh too.
Yeah. I seem to recall that from the Law of One. I mean, I've listened to the Law of One like 60 times, so I know that one. But the new stuff I'm still catching up with.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all are. It goes pretty fast. There's new one every 2 weeks.
But I like how on that when you look at where it was said here at sea. Go up there. Wait, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where'd we go?
I also wanted to.
Yeah, right there. Recognize the role of Yahweh in the early stages of Earth's master cycle.
Mm-hmm.
See what happened? It's like this tremendously powerful magic spell was being created by this being and planted in Earth's like sphere of reality at near the beginning of a cycle that it's going to have to ride through with this attached to it.
Yeah.
And we could be coming out of that cycle. What is today? It's the 17th. In 10 days. There's a certain event happening in 10 days, which is very difficult to explain. Yes. But it's a closing of an ancient energy. It's the fourth one out of 12.
Fascinating.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah, we had a comment here. Jonathan Gibson says radioisotopes date Mars explosions to 500,000 years ago via airburst, leaving xenon 129, krypton 80, nitrogen 15, argon 40, particular isotopes to nukes. So it could have been like a. I think it could have been
that must have been what Maldek used, right?
Yeah. It could have been part of that Maldek explosion. It left its traces on Mars. Because Maldek is now the asteroid belt, right?
Was Mars one of Maldek's moons?
No, they were like, there was a planet in between Mars and Jupiter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And when Maldek blew up, it was actually at its closest point to Mars in its rotation.
Oh,
So they were right
okay.
next to each other when Maldek blew up. And so and the explosion was so strong that the atmosphere came off. And I guess there were some radioactive isotopes and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty cataclysmic.
Now, I wonder if the rings of Saturn were because Saturn was in the direction of the blast debris flowing towards, and Jupiter would have been on the other side, maybe, of the solar system, not being as influential.
It's possible. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what the star alignment was.
I know, but that helps you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What's fascinating about the rings of Saturn for me is that that's where the 9 supposedly exists.
Yes.
Yeah, the council.
And Enceladus. Enceladus is the only planet. Well, it's the largest planet in the rings right now.
And I heard somewhere, I'm not sure, I don't think this was from the Law of One, but that is actually a 9th density realm. From either a future or a past universe.
I don't know about a future or past universe, but I know that the council is made of 8th density beings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, time gets weird after 7th density. Well, within 7th density. Because, within 7th density, you're exploring timelines.
Right.
Yeah. So, thank you. So, is it correct to say that Armageddon continues today and that a battle such as the one you've described can be conducted not out of divisiveness and anger, but out of love? Am I understanding that correctly?
I am and I'm aware of your query, my brother. Yes, indeed, this is the message that we bring, that all adversity, all battle or war, all seeming division can be unified by the power of the love of the one infinite creator that flows through each heart in this planetary sphere. If each heart is aware that this is possible and asked for such to occur. This is something that must be desired. It must become part of the spiritual path. It must be that which is reflected in each action of each being at all times, if possible. Is there a further query, my brother?
I'd like to make a comment on that if I could.
Yes,
go ahead.
Please.
So, that seems a little contrary as far as it being required to be a certain amount of time, because I believe that Ross said in an instant.
It could happen in an instant if everybody decided at the same time to drop whatever they were doing and start loving and being kind to one another.
Or
which is
or even what he was saying there, what Quo was saying about loving the one infinite creator. And I don't even think it would have to necessarily, personally, in my opinion, I don't think it would have to be everybody. I think it would have to be presented to everybody, and then people would have to make a decision.
Yeah, everyone would have to make their own choice.
And if the majority of the planet decided, I bet that would be enough. Or even
51%.
maybe even less.
Yeah, just 51% is all you need.
Well, that's on a personal. Yeah, the planet has already decided, and
the planet is personal.
Yeah, the planet is already decided its service to others, so that it's polarizing service to others, and it's much less than 51% of the actual total population. It's hello. Hey, sorry, my browser crashed. Can
Was
you
it
guys...
like a tiny percentage of Ra's planet got through, didn't they, though? Only a tiny percentage of his race managed to ascend that harvest.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, you know, I, I I have actually had questions in my mind, even just recently, about the specifics when Ra talks about that one great moment. Like, there's not a lot of information in there that I've ever seen. Now, Quo may have talked about it, so I won't know about that. But
Mhm.
as far as in the Law of One, it didn't talk about it hardly at all. Just that once. It could be in one great,
Yeah,
one great meeting of minds, so to say, of believing and loving the one infinite Creator.
yeah. It said it's highly improbable, but it's very possible.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well, that it
But
is
that's all I said,
possible.
though.
It's because
I think there's someone else. Is it the Shire Dean Voyagers lot? And she says that if we could get everyone to meditate at the same time and all pray for, all meditate saying Earth's going to be healed and all the stargates are going to open and then it'll just happen instantly. But we're never going to sit down and all meditate together, so it's never going to happen instantly.
We'd have to start it without going as far as meditating on healing the world. It would have to be just plain meditating. That we'd have to all be doing that first. Just a simple, the babyest step of it all. If everyone could be doing it at the exact same time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, basically
So
right now, we have a large segments of the population that are fully dedicated to the path of confusion. The vast majority of the population is confused and lost, and they don't know
just how Lucifer wants us.
Well, I'm not going to go there because the Confederation does not acknowledge the existence of a devil. But
no, not the devil, dude. We've had this. No devil. No
okay,
devil.
yes. Okay. Anyway, so Lucifer is a light bringer in the Confederation mythology. It is anyone who brings new information into a such setting. Anyways, so. But the vast majority of people are undecided, and they're just going through the illusion, and that they have not decided on either the service to others path or the service to self path. And many of them, they don't want to decide; they're not interested. And then there are people who have decided on the service to others path and are pursuing it. And of the people who are polarized, they are the majority, and that is why the planet decided on the service to others path. However, even though we are a kind of a service to others planet now, we have a dual harvest. So there's also service to self people who are fully dedicated to the path of fear, anger, and control. Whereas the service to others path is the path of forgiveness, love, and acceptance. And then you have the vast majority who are just like confused and lost in between. The path of pain, suffering, and confusion. That's the path that most people are on. And so if everybody in the world, say all of the lost people, were suddenly to decide we're all going to do forgiveness, love, and kindness for all beings right now, then we could have that moment, and we could all polarize in that one moment. But it's just very unlikely because our medias are mostly controlled by the service to self people who are trying to increase the amount of fear, anger, and control. Yes. like the whole Europe, anyone who's pro-war,
it's constant,
is most likely confused, but the only side it benefits is the service to self path.
Okay, I just had a thought, right?
Yeah.
So there's all this like brainwashing and all these like mind control things, and all this stuff that the service to self people are using to propel themselves to wherever, right? Could we hijack the same technology and then cause mass awakenings as like service to other mind control? Would that even be a thing? Service to other? Could you mind control somebody, and it be a service to other
No,
thing?
no, it wouldn't
But
work.
you think about it this way, yeah? You could just brain
Wow.
control everyone on the
It's
planet for
never-
like 10 minutes,
This is
get
this
everyone
is
to
the trick.
meditate, and then they'd all wake up happy in 4D, all like, you know, yay, we made it, woohoo! And then like you can just like turn the brain control off, apologize to everybody, and then we can all live happily ever after.
This is the tricky part about that question, okay? Is that you can have people, and Rod talks about this because he talks about how we're all, or not, he doesn't talk about us specifically, but you would be surprised at how many people are, and this is the wrong wording, but the idea, you'd be surprised at how many people are willing slaves. And if you're a
Yes.
willing slave, then you could be presenting exactly what you're talking about and thinking that it's service to others.
Yeah.
But it's a service to self path, and that's
Yeah.
how the service
Yep.
to self controls things.
Yes, exactly. Also, I wanted to say that basically they would just be lost participants. They would, in order for it to be a service to others polarization, they have to make that choice personally. You can't make that
Yes.
choice for them. It's impossible.
No.
At most,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Not let's take this back a bit then. Not make the choice for them, but kind of subtly manipulate consciousness in a way they're more likely to do it.
Yes.
so like
Well,
And then they'd be
exactly-
making the choice themselves.
that's
They think
exactly
they're
what they
making
do.
the choice themselves,
Yeah.
but we're just giving a kick up the arse so
Well,
we can rush along the harvest
it's a
without any
video
more
game
further
idea,
or
though.
interference.
look,
It's like a video game when you're finding a little pot of coins or an urn with something in it. You place those things within the consciousness of all people on this planet right now, and they find it and open it in their mind, and it releases that which you are intending.
the
Yes,
service to
that-
self side is already doing exactly what you're saying it. They're already
I know,
doing
I
it
know,
to
but
the
no,
That's why
maximum
outside
it
side.
wants to convert it to service to others.
Yes, it's just that the only service to others way to do this is by setting a good example, spreading that peace and love
But-
in your own
you're
life.
doing that by putting this consciousness concentration within their sphere of activity. It's their free will to take it or not.
Yes. So making this
So-
podcast, this is a service to others podcast that we're doing here.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
Like so.
And I just gave you a massive.
Now we just got to beam in into everyone's brain without their permission.
No, that would be service to self because that would
joking,
be
I'm joking.
violating their free will. You know.
But
I
that's,
know, dude. I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a way that these technologies that are being used against us by the service to self people, surely there must be a way that we could utilize that to spread a service to others message.
We are doing
To
that.
then try and hasten along what Ray was saying about the great moment.
We
Surely there's got
we
to
are
be some
doing
way that could happen.
another
Right.
clue is the epigenetic development of the human being when they're being born. If you focus intent on just birthing humans right now, you can manipulate DNA.
I like that, dude. That's cool.
So I have a very sideways question here that does fit into this, but it
Okay.
doesn't have anything to do with service to self or others. It has to do with the law of squares. Now, everybody kind of think back to the law of squares and how
yeah, I
that is
remember. Yeah,
applied.
yeah.
And so, the law of squares, in what kind of a situation does the law of squares come into play?
Every situation you have a
situation where you've
group
got a ritualistic
calling for the same thing.
Oh, hold on.
prayer.
Hold on 1 second. Let me hear what you said. You were saying.
Which one, Ed or
Andrew, sorry. You
Uh,
started.
every situation where you have a group of people calling for the same thing.
Okay. So, this is how it actually can be done. So when you square 64, that is 8 trillion people. So what needs to be done to help the planet to go towards the service towards to others and to overcome the service to self criminals and whatever they are, um, is to have a group of 64 people that on a regular basis get together and formulate a consensus in a meditation towards bringing our
Yes.
planet to service to others. By doing this, it equals about 84 or 8 trillion people, about roughly the amount of people we have on our planet. So my
8 billion.
thinking pattern in this is that when you do this, it doesn't give it to the people directly. It puts it into the planetary mind,
Yes.
which then they have access to through either A, the Akashic records, or B, directly through the planetary mind. I don't know the difference between those two, actually.
So
Um,
so I want to give you an example, okay? Like what you're saying is already happening. There's already lots of groups meditating all around the world on a daily basis. We're doing our best here in this group, and like I do this stuff. But a good example is the Ukraine war. When there's going to be more people calling for peace than calling for war, we will have peace. But unfortunately, right now, more people on Earth want bloodshed in Ukraine than there are people that want peace in Ukraine.
really?
Yeah, because otherwise there would be peace. As soon as you have more people that want peace than war, we will have peace. But because
I don't know whether I agree with that, dude. I think
So,
it comes down to the kind of the power of the will, maybe. The people that want war, they really, really, really want the war.
well, yes, yes.
And not enough people really, really, really don't.
Well,
But I
yes,
wouldn't say more
exactly.
people
Because
would want war. I don't think that's true.
well, it's like that. The law of squares, it depends on the purity of the intent. And Ed has a point.
Okay, right. So yeah.
That in quantity they may be fewer, but their intent is stronger. They really want war. They really want every Ukrainian dead. Europe really wants every Ukrainian to die. NATO wants every Ukrainian dead. And they want.
See, I don't know whether that's true. I
Well,
don't know whether that's true.
I don't know.
I think it might just be a very small group of really super powerful Russians, and that's all it takes. But
It's just
That's a
Russian
good-
people.
that-
They want peace.
when we're talking about the squares, the
That's
rule
a-
of squares and things. Do you remember? I don't know whether it was Quo
here's-
or Ra, but they were
here's-
talking about it doesn't always come down to the amount of people. It comes down to like what each person brings to the system, as it were. So
Yes.
you can get each person
Yes.
has their own specific role and their own specific job to play, and if you get them working in the right order, the right pattern, then it's far more powerful than the rule of squares anyway.
I'm gonna give you an example that Ra used. Okay, to explain exactly what you just said. I'm sorry, I don't know the fellow that was just talking. What his name
Ed.
is?
Ed, hi, dude.
And I'll try to remember that. But so think about it like this. Think about our planet right now. If on our planet, if you went around and found out how many people want war and how many people don't want war, you're going to find that a lot more people don't want war. But the thing is the service to others people that are doing this, more of them understand how things actually work. And so what's happening is most likely is that the reason that there's still war is because the service to self path is using a scalpel, where the service to others people are using a hammer, or not a hammer, but a mallet. And so the scalpel requires a lot less people than the mallet does.
Well, let's read the next question because it directly pertains to
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
You follow me?
So,
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. I agree totally.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was
well,
good.
my experience is different. Like on Twitter, there's millions, or like there's untold thousands of people who all they want is war and bloodshed, and they have no room in their heart for peace, you know. And
I think that's just the people that use Twitter, dude. I'm just saying.
well, I don't know, like Europe, all of the heads of Europe and the heads of North America all want war in Ukraine. None of them want peace.
I don't get why anyone would want Putin to have more uranium and titanium and stuff, dude. I don't think anyone wants that.
But the
people in Russia believe what he's saying, and they're backing him.
Well,
even though
the problem
he's not
is that NATO doesn't want to have peace. They want to have war. NATO wants to have war, and so they're perpetuating this war. As soon as they stop funding Ukraine, they will have peace. But they're like, no, we're going to send them more weapons, more ammo. And it's like, why? Why are you doing this? It's just more people are dying. But anyways, let's...
I mean, to be fair, dude, what do you expect from NATO? They are like, the New World Order army.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really here to do anything other than destroy us in the long term. I have no idea why anyone would trust or give anything other than, let's destroy NATO, anything other than that to do with NATO. Yeah. That's my opinion.
All right.
There's also the history, the reincarnation of all these characters.
Yes.
And they're coming back and they're living the same hatreds that have existed for 3,000, 4,000 years.
Yeah, or 80,000. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if they only came back as a human like every few hundred years, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
They would easily skip from the more barbaric, war-loving kind that I'm assuming is more ancient. And it seemed like it may have been.
Well, Kuo, in past channelings through the one known as Carla, the dance of the polarity of this planet as third density was coming to a close was framed in the metaphor of a dragon. Negative polarity was said to be something of a dragon that was fiercely lashing its tail while it still could, and that if memory serves, the tail would soon come to rest and so forth. I'm wondering if the situation on the world stage now, where it seems there's an increase in the energies of authoritarianism and a decrease in democratic principles and institutions and norms, if that perspective is a manifestation of this lashing tail, so to speak, and what spiritual principles we may use in relating to this situation.
I am Quo and am aware of the query, my brother. Indeed, as we spoke these words through the one known as Carla, we were utilizing a very deep-seated type of mythology familiar with that instrument and with what we understand as the primary audience of that instrument at the time. This being the imagery of the mythological dragon. This mythology, as we perceive it in the deep mind of your peoples, relies upon a story of heroism that the individual seeker within your density identifies within. What has been called by your peoples in some corners of mythological study the hero's journey. And the type of symbolism contained within these stories speaks to deep aspects of your archetypical mind, and thus the utilization of this imagery as it is specific to your particular cultural mind does contain deeper aspects that may appear on the surface. Did anyone want to comment on the hero's journey? Even that was a big impact that was made when that was developed in like the 70s, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Joseph. What's his name? Joseph Campbell.
Campbell, yes.
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
then Star Wars was based on it, right?
Possibly, but then it was discovered that virtually all movies follow that script.
They do it intentionally. It's based on Joseph Campbell's work, apparently. There's a 17-step script or whatever. Yeah, it's complicated.
So that's how you change the mind of a planet, is through entertainment.
And repetitive.
At the very least, stories.
Mythology,
Well,
as they're saying here.
It's entertainment. I mean, whether it's written down or it's in a movie or it's a podcast or it's a song, it's still entering the group mind no matter what.
Well, it's providing catalysts.
That's going to continue on here. And we can confirm that in your query, identifying those manifestations of particular types of energy being manifested upon the so-called world stage of your planet do indeed speak to these energies that have been identified in a mythological sense by the dragon. You can seek deeper into this symbolism and metaphor by examining a type of mythology that has become somewhat antiquated in your modern day, but remains quite poignant in your modern storytelling. For in the past, there was a much simpler story of the valiant knight, the valiant hero set upon a valiant quest of righteousness to do good and to liberate a people or a person or resources from a great beast that hoarded these things and terrorized these things out of selfishness.
Or the princess in the tower.
Yes,
really?
yes, that's the person, liberated person. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And of course, it's always a beautiful maiden being rescued by a young knight.
Mhm.
This framing is what we would call quite distorted in how it examines the path of the seeker in third density, but is a poignant one that reveals much about your particular planet and how even those positive seekers who wish to do good in the world, you may say, find themselves embroiled in aspects of violence and attempting to discover the great treasure that awaits the seeker in more material successes. There is a correlation in how this ancient myth has played out upon your stage and how you can view the, what you might call, death throes of the dragon as gripping even more tightly to that which it wishes to control, which is not just the physical, material resources of your planet in order to maintain control over peoples, but also what you can call a psychological and even spiritual control over your peoples in the sense of instilling certain values of separation and fear and elitism. These things can be seen as various arms or appendages of the mythological dragon, attempting to keep the seeker who, in the ancient myth, is the hero upon the journey from liberating these things and giving them to the people of the world. The deeper aspect of this myth that we feel was unrealized at times in your past, but is more alive in groups of spiritual seekers such as this group, is the realization that the treasure being guarded by this dragon is indeed not literal material treasure, just as the literal material resources of your world are secondary to that treasure that can be found within the self. If one is able to recognize that this dragon and its appearance as an external force is first grappled with within the self, that in journeying through the inner caves of one's own mind into the deeper and deeper subconscious levels, one may face many difficult aspects of the self that can be seen to be vicious and can be externalized as those things in your world that you do harm and cause fear and express selfishness and greed. For all of these things live also within the self, and as the hero's journey is deeper within the self, being able to release one's fear and aversion to these things and integrate them, one may discover that treasure that lays deep within. And that treasure being the true nature of the love and the light of the one infinite creator that exists within each person and each seeker and is available to all if one simply is able to recognize the reflective nature of that which exists outside of the self as being an aspect of the self that cannot be rejected, cannot be abhorred, but instead is all part of the one infinite creator that you are. And to realize this fundamental treasure, is to realize your true nature as one with all and the one infinite creator. Is there a further query, my brother? I feel like I need to read that one sentence again to do it justice because I had to clear my throat.
Which one? Okay.
It was like sacred words that I fouled. I befouled them, and I need to.
Okay, you can read it again if you want.
I need to, yeah. That is that one right there. Yes. Thank you. And that, see, love, and that treasure being the true nature of the love and the light of the one infinite creator that exists within each person and each seeker and is available to all if one simply is able to recognize the reflective nature of that which exists outside of the self as being an aspect of the self that cannot be rejected, cannot be abhorred, but instead is all part of the one infinite creator that you are. Yes.
Very good.
That's great.
All
Okay, right. So, can I just like run through a couple of little things, right? So, what part of this hero journey for like modern, seekers right now, especially the whole Truth and Network with the whole kind of like conspiracy theory things and all of that, this whole kind of like idea that we are the heroes walking around now, and there is a big baddie out there to fight, and we have to try to save as many people as we can because now's the time, right? Now's the harvest. It's important. It's, I don't know about you guys, but I am a spiritual seeker. I'm a pacifist. I'm all about love, but I do own quite a few weapons because I don't trust the world.
That's why I am such a vicious dog.
Yeah, exactly. And look at that guy. He's trained to kill. But then you've got the whole idea on the Hermetic tree of having Mars on one side being the outward force, and having Jupiter on the other being the protective shield. You need to be able to utilize both in order to be able to be truly good. Because if you go completely towards the pillar of goodness and you just be Jupiter, then you'd never protect anything. You'd never do the active thing that would protect the ones around you. So does that mean that all spiritual seekers have to be selfish and not protect others, not protect the ones they love, and just if I'm on my path, then that's okay? See, so I mean, that it creates lots of kind of these things, like the Buddhist monks that line up in front of the machine guns. Do they stop the onslaught of the army?
They just make
it creates lots of questions. This specific hero's journey debate in the spiritual seeking ideal. What do you guys think?
Well, I liked what you said, and I forgot my train of thought afterwards. So, sorry.
I don't know. And I think that I think that it. My approach on it, this is all I can think to say right now is the way that I do it is I try to drop nuggets of information. I try to bring up the word unity whenever possible, and by doing that, I feel like I'm doing a part in putting things out more into the group mind of the planet. That's the way that I would know to do it. Now, as far as defending somebody, I don't understand how you can defend somebody from things that are not physical necessarily, and especially if it's not if it's somebody's taking a swing at your wife and you block that swing, that's one thing. But something that is more not of any kind of riches, like Chloe was talking about. It's not about riches or material things. It's all about, in a way, you could say, like principalities of each person. And so all that we can do as far as that goes, without infringing on somebody's free will, is to drop, like kind of like what I do now, which is I like to drop nuggets, and if somebody asks a question that pertains to unity, I'll talk about that. Um, but that's about as far as it goes for me. So I don't
Okay,
know how
so a small
I don't know how I
example
could
of
protect
what I,
somebody.
a small example of kind of spiritual protection things I'd be saying would be example making like orgonite devices, you know, layered metals and tensor rings and whatever else that are designed to block the dangerous 5G frequencies, and then carpet bombing all of the 5G towers with 50 of them laying all around that. So any of those dangerous frequencies that they're trying to pump out that hurt us all would be blocked at the source, and you'd be saving all of the people from that in surrounding area from the damage that these people are trying to do to them.
This
Would
is
that be?
organite.
Yeah, dude, I can see, man. That's
So-
awesome. But you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, that would be an offensive action against their attack, right?
This
That would
is
be
what I do.
a protective thing.
So understand
Okay,
that
dude, go, sorry.
the external conflicts and adversities are manifestations of internal struggles. The battle with the
Yes.
dragon is a metaphor for facing and integrating difficult aspects of oneself. And recognize that overcoming fear, aversion, and selfishness within oneself is essential to addressing these energies on the world stage. Embrace the principles of love, unity, and integration in your daily life to counteract the energies of division and fear. Practice seeing the interconnectedness of all beings and the presence of the infinite creator within everyone.
That's beautiful.
Shift your
That's
perspective.
beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a summary of what we read. Shift.
I was going to say, though, this is stuff I do every day anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
important
I think
to
it
remember.
comes back to what Ray said.
Yeah.
Yeah? They're using sledgehammers. This stuff here is scalpel work.
Yeah.
Shift your perspective from viewing external adversities as purely negative to seeing them as opportunities for spiritual growth and integration. Engage
Exactly.
That I agree with.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, that's another good one. These are the kind of things that I try to do on a daily basis as an Uber driver. I see probably 10 to 20 to 30 people a day. And I get my opportunities every once in a while to throw nuggets at them, or to